I told my husband that he needs to give me half his company if he wants me to be a housewife. We've been married for 3 years, and his tech startup finally took off last year. Now he's making serious money and suddenly wants me to quit my job as a nurse to stay home and have babies. The conversation started when I got home from a 12-hour shift at the hospital. I was exhausted, my feet were killing me, and I still had laundry to do. Jake was on his laptop in his home office, probably making more in an hour than I make in a week. He looked up and said we need to talk about our future. He wanted me to quit nursing so I could focus on being a wife and starting a family. Just like that. No discussion, no asking what I wanted. I laughed at first because I thought he was joking, but he was dead serious. He said his company was doing so well that we didn't need my income anymore. He wanted a traditional household where he worked, and I took care of everything else. That's when I asked him if he was planning to pay me for being his personal chef, housekeeper, nanny, and secretary. He got confused and said that's just what wives do. So I told him that's fine, but if I'm giving up my career and financial independence to serve his dreams, then I want half ownership of his company. You should have seen his face. He started sputtering about how that wasn't fair because he built the company before we got married. I reminded him that he built it while I was working 60-hour weeks to pay our rent and groceries, so he could chase his startup dreams without worrying about bills. For 2 years, I supported us financially while he worked on his app in our tiny apartment. I ate ramen for dinner so he could afford better equipment. I picked up extra shifts so he could go to networking events. I never complained when he spent our vacation money on a business conference. Now that his company is worth millions, suddenly my contribution doesn't matter. He wants me to give up everything I worked for so I can wash his dishes and raise his kids for free while he gets richer. I pulled out my phone and showed him the calculator. If he hired someone to do everything he expects me to do, it would cost him at least $80,000 a year. A personal chef, housekeeper, nanny, personal assistant, and someone available 24/7, way more than that. But he kept arguing that marriage doesn't work like a business transaction. So I asked him why he gets to keep building wealth while I sacrifice mine. Why does he get financial security while I become completely dependent on him? That's when he said the dumbest thing possible. He told me I should trust him to take care of me. Trust. Like I haven't heard that before from women whose husbands left them with nothing after 20 years of marriage. I told him I'd be happy to stay home under one condition. If my unpaid labor is going to help his company succeed by freeing up all his time and energy, then I want legal ownership of half of it. Not just access to his money, but actual ownership that can't be taken away. He said I was being ridiculous and greedy. Greedy for wanting security after giving up my career for his benefit. Greedy for wanting legal protection after making myself financially vulnerable. The argument went on for hours. He tried every manipulation trick in the book. He said I didn't trust him, that I was being materialistic, that real love doesn't need contracts. I told him that real love doesn't ask someone to give up everything without offering anything in return. Finally, I laid it out simple. Either we're partners who share everything equally, or we're not. If he wants a housewife, he can buy one by giving me half his company. If he wants to keep his company to himself, then I'm keeping my job and my independence. He's been sulking for 3 days now, sleeping in the guest room and barely talking to me.